morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to the show. Josh with you here again for another round of information. Just got a lot of news for you today. It hasn't stopped. News comes every day, fast and furious. Every day there's it's quite interesting to go on and just see what the news is for today. You know, to see where it's taking us. So I'm going to show you briefly where we're at today, but let's start off with our dream spell calendar. Our 13 moon date for today. Today's called the White Magnetic Wind. White Magnetic Wind. White is the color of refinement. Magnetic tone is tone number 1. It's the magnetic tone of purpose. And then the symbol and the guide for today, because we're both at a one-tone day, is the same, which is the white wind, which is all about spirit. The phrase for today: I unify in order to communicate, attracting breath. I seal the input of spirit with the magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power doubled. I'm a galactic activation portal. Enter me. On the Gregorian calendar, it is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2011. So for those of you who are wondering what it was I just read, it's the dream spell date for today. Last week I did a series of shows, or the week before that I did a series of shows talking about how the dream spell works. So if you want to get a refresher on that, we also have a link on our site called lawoftime.org. You can go to their site and you can refresh yourself on how it works. But every day I read the date, and there's two factors involved. There's a number, which is going to be 1 through 13, which is the tone. Right today it's represented by this one dot. And there's going to be a symbol, one of 20 symbols. Today is the second of them, and that's this symbol here, which is the wind. And then there's always a guide, which is another symbol like this. Not necessarily the same, but today it is the same. It's also the wind. And there's always a phrase that goes along with each day, just to kind of tone you in. It's kind of like doing astrology, but it's the Mayan. All right? So that's our dream spell date for today. We're going to continue on with our information about the Sphinx, the mystery of the Sphinx. So here we go.
We're not claiming that the pyramids are 12,500 years old. What we're saying is that the pyramids speak of that very distant date. There's no doubt in my mind that the Egyptians were the inheritors of an ancient knowledge and wisdom. It's absurd to suggest, as Egyptologists do, that these monuments were the creation of the infancy of a civilization. There's a huge accumulated knowledge and wisdom expressed in these monuments. These monuments, to me, are the end of something, not the beginning of something. To me, this almost impossible engineering feat conveys one clear message. Speaking to us across the gulf of ages, what the ancients are saying is we were not fools, and we weren't simpletons dancing after superstitious priests. We will show you our knowledge and precision. We did nothing by chance. Take us seriously.
As far as the new investigators are concerned, this is a message being sent by more than just the pyramids. On the Giza Plateau, in the shadow of the pyramids, lies a weather-beaten monument that has the body of a lion and the head of a man. Carved out of natural rock, there is no exact way of deducing how long it's been here. It is the Sphinx. Egyptologists insist it was made 4,500 years ago, when the 3 Great Pyramids were built. Others say the Sphinx was actually built 8,000 years before the pyramids, at a time when no civilization capable of its construction should have existed.
All these people, they come by for a day or two to the plateau, and they come by with a theory, and they publish it. The theory has to be crazy. The theory has to be fantastic, because if you make a fantastic theory, you will make money and you will be famous. Many theories like this has been said about the Sphinx, but all of it gone with the wind, because we Egyptologists have a solid evidence to state that the Sphinx is dated to the time of Khafre, the builder of the second pyramid at the Giza Plateau.
Money isn't the issue here. I've been doing this for 20 years without making a bean out of it. We've got to get to the bottom of this. The issue is to find the truth, and we require several disciplines to find out what all this is all about.
I don't think that Egyptology is up to the task at all. To come to a site like this with a one-dimensional view, a narrow perspective, and to claim that through that narrow funnel we can interpret this site is a grave disservice to humanity, because it's prevented other disciplines from exercising their intelligence here.
Robert Bovell and Graham Hancock join forces with writer John A. West, and together they continue to question whether the Egyptologist's evidence really does add up, like the claim that the head of the Sphinx is a rendering of Sephron. Frank Domingo, a forensic artist, also joins the debate. Working with the New York Police Department, he's an expert in identification and is asked to compare the face of the only known statue of Sephron with that of the Sphinx. His conclusion? The two faces are not even from the same race.
After reviewing all the measurements, angles, and proportions, it's my conclusion that the Great Sphinx of Giza is not the same individual represented in the statue of the pharaoh Sephron.
Despite the controversy, independent investigators are not surprised by this discovery. John West has some outlandish theories of his own about the Sphinx.
Now you look at the head, you see that it's in much better condition than the body. Even though the head is cut of a much harder limestone, the difference between the condition of the head and the condition of the body is extreme. Perhaps even more important, the head is disproportionately small. Seen especially from the air, you see that the body of the Sphinx is long and flattened out, and the head almost looks like a pinhead stuck on the top of it. This to us is an indication that the head has been recarved. In other words, the head is not original to the Sphinx. At some point in its long history, the head was redone.
The investigators have no doubt that the entire Giza Plateau served as some kind of map of the stars as they appeared in the skies in 10,500 BC.
Standing at Giza, the ancient astronomers faced an uninterrupted 360-degree horizon, which invited observations of the rising points of the sun and the stars. Another direction also drew their attention, the north-south line dividing the sky directly above their heads, and they observed the stars as they crossed this line. In 10,500 BC, when the three stars of Orion's belt crossed this line, they did so in a pattern that is exactly matched by the pattern of the three pyramids on the ground.
They claim the Sphinx is in fact an astronomical marker of the vernal equinox. But again, not as it would have appeared in 2500 BC when the Sphinx was supposedly built.
When the Sphinx is supposed to have been built, 2500 BC, the sun rose in the constellation of Taurus. It would have been utterly absurd for a pharaoh to have built an equinoctial marker in the form of a lion in that epoch. In fact, there's only one epoch when it would have been appropriate for the Sphinx to have been built in the form that it has. That was the age of Leo, beginning in the 11th millennium BC.
Every 2,000 years or so, a new astrological age begins as a different constellation appears behind the sun. The last time there was an age of Leo was 12,000 years ago. Robert Bovell explains.
At this special time in 10,500 BC, the sun would rise due east, directly in line with the Sphinx, at the rising of the constellation of Leo. Here comes the constellation of Leo breaking over the horizon. And here is the sun. So it's at this time, at the age of Leo, that the Sphinx would be gazing at its own image in the sky.
But if that isn't enough, there's more. Why is the Sphinx offset to the right of the main east-west axis of this pyramid, and why is that causeway sloping to the south of east? The ancient pyramid builders did nothing by chance. So what's the significance of this curious offset?
The computer has the answer. It shows us that this is the place where the sun would rise exactly in the direction of the causeway, 14 degrees to the right, in perfect alignment with the causeway. Now what do we have here? To the left is the constellation of Leo, and as we can see, it's half buried below the horizon, with its head and shoulders sticking out. And this is what they saw when they looked in the east, the sun rising along the direction of the causeway, and to the left, the Sphinx, half buried in the sand, with its head and shoulders sticking out of the sand, in the same way that the constellation of Leo would be seen rising over the horizon, with its head and shoulders sticking over the horizon line.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of people.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing. What they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. One if by land and two if by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth. What if our government... All right, Dirk, thank you very much. This is Josh. This is the UFO news for today. All right, we got a number of stories here. Let's start off with one that we addressed earlier this week. This is about the mainstream media's coverage of the UFO object on the ocean floor. It says the mainstream media have finally found a recent UFO sighting they could really sink their teeth into, and they are showing no signs of letting go. Ever since a UFO or flying saucer object was discovered in sonar photographs on the ocean floor, various reputable news sources have been sparking lively debate on what it could or possibly couldn't be. The object was spotted in the northern Baltic Sea between Finland and Sweden at the bottom of the Gulf of Bothnia. An interest in the mysterious shape has snowballed since its discovery. MSNBC weighed in on the debate as recently as Tuesday, August 2nd, 2011, with an article called UFO Found on Ocean Floor. Swedish explorer reports circular anomaly, but is it a flying saucer? Hardly. In which the author points out that the discoid object is more likely a natural formation of an earthly man-made object. And of course, the anchor or representative from MSNBC obviously had put on their scuba gear and swam down to the bottom of the ocean so they could tell and make such a report without any of the researchers being able to go and do it. So good for them that they were able to send out their scuba team so quick to go and check that out. MSNBC, they're right on top of it. Now, over here, we've got the BBC man shock at UFO sighting. I said a BBC journalist has told how he was left totally freaked out after seeing a UFO hovering above a field as he drove to work in the early hours of this morning. Well-respected sports reporter Mike Sewell relieved a moment when he saw a dish-shaped crab zoom in front of his car as he drove across the countryside in the darkness at 4:15 a.m. Mike, who lives in the Midlands, was driving to Stansted Airport to catch a flight to Sweden when he saw a UFO with flashing lights around the outside above the road. Hereford cops said they had no reports of a UFO. He told them how he'd been driving behind a VW van when he saw the craft in the sky. Speaking on the radio to 5 million of listeners this morning, he revealed how he was left godsmacked after the UFO was hovered above the field a few hundred yards from the road. I was driving across East Country about 10 to 15 miles from Stansted Airport at 4:15 in the morning, and I saw a bright white light in the sky descend towards the road, and as it got closer, it banked to the left. As it banked to the left and went cross-country, I could see underneath, and it wasn't an airplane, and it wasn't a helicopter. I dread saying this. The disc had several lights all around it, underneath, and at least 2 large panel lights, soft white lights underneath. I was so gobsmacked. Well, friends, you're going to get used to hearing that because there's a lot of folks like this who are so probably dead set against the existence of life forms and UFOs and things like that, that when they see them, in his words, they're going to be gobsmacked. They're going to go bonkers. They're not going to know what to do. That's what's going to happen with a lot of folks. You're going to see a lot of people not knowing how to deal with the aliens, beings from other world, because in their reality, it can't happen. Well, be prepared to meet a lot of freaked out people on this planet because the alien agenda is coming forward, and you're going to meet them soon enough. Now, here we have witness records UFO over El Cajon, California. FAA lacks explanation for the glowing lights, and this is from the Examiner.com, Tracy Pierce. A man named Todd Gibson and his wife Stacy saw something unusual in the sky over El Cajon, California on Sunday, July 31st. 2 synchronized moving objects, white and orange UFOs, were glowing in the dark, and Stacy Gibson had the good sense to grab her video camera and document the sighting. The video that Stacy recorded that night shows the unidentified flying object highlighted against the night sky. Like many UFOs caught on camera, the video is shaky and seems to zoom in and out on the objects, creating the effect that they were moving far more erratically and probably in reality. Let's take a look at this sighting here. See what you think. Alright. There you go. Alright, you got
Stop shouting. They are moving.
Alright. So, interesting video. I don't know that you can hear. Well, let's see if you can hear the interaction going on.
Shelby, stop. Stop shouting, Stave. You can't really record these very well.
So here you got two kids in the car, highly excited about what they're seeing, pointing out things, and the father, who obviously believes because he did the filming, he doesn't quite share the same excitement as the kids there, and sounds like they're getting a little flustered. Anyway, that's what went on over El Cajon, and here's another one. This is over at Fukushima, and you're going to see momentarily there's quite a bit of ships up here. Okay, see this whole string right here? Look at that. Boom. All individual. And these, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 just in this shot right here. At 12. Okay. 12 UFOs just in that shot over Fukushima. Why Fukushima? Well, guess what? They're still having problems over there. Every day it gets worse. Every day there's still radiation leaking into the air. I know that you're not hearing about it here in this country, but that's what's going on. So we need to continue to send our prayers and good thoughts over there to Fukushima. Now, the other day there was a sighting that somebody had found a UFO when they were looking on Google Maps. And maybe that sparked a trend, because here's another Google Maps UFO. Listen to this.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that 2 days ago I was on Google Maps and I was looking up an address when I suddenly found a UFO, and I just want to share it with you guys. It's over on top of Miami. Let me go ahead and show you guys. As you can see, I'm here on Google. Click on Maps. I'm going to paste the address that I had. Once there, you see, the regular Google Maps. You go into Street View. So here. Alright, here you go. You see these apartments. But if you look up into the sky, you'll see the alien flying over Miami. Here you go. You can take a closer look at it. For more details and more information, check out the site below so that you can get a better image of the alien spacecraft. And, shit happens.
Alright, very good. Very good. So something definitely was caught above the skies there on Google Maps, and as I said, it is becoming a bit more common. There was one the other day, and now there's this one here. And let's see, this next story brings you up to, we've got this new movie that's out, Cowboys and Aliens. And so the question comes, were there UFO sightings in the Old West? Well, it says here, history records a number of sightings of airships in America during the 19th century. One particularly notable incident occurred in Texas in 1897. A strange object was seen flying through the skies before colliding with a windmill, showering debris over a wide area. The body of the single pilot was recovered from the wreckage and was described as not of this world. By far the most detailed, the most dramatic encounter between cowboys and aliens occurred in 1897, just as I said. So, and this article the account was in the Dallas Morning News on April 19th. Alright. And it says about 6 o'clock in the morning, the early risers of Aurora, Texas were astonished at the sudden appearance of the airship which had been sailing through the country. Alright, this article's linked up to our website, so you can follow it there. And one more, I thought this one was bizarre. I don't know if this one is real or not. It is certainly a bizarre looking thing, so you look at it and you decide. It says new alien footage encounter caught on tape. Alright. Now, that was very bizarre. Could that be a fake? Yeah, that's a possibility that one might be a fake. But it was very strange, don't you think? Let's take a look at that again. I'll even freeze it. I mean, that's That's a bizarre looking thing, but it is the kind of thing you could imagine right out of the movies. You know, right out of the movies. It does have a lot of facial movement that is going on in there. You can see that. So do some exploration on that one. See what you think. FirstContactRadio.com. On the right-hand side, there's a link called UFO News. Every news story we've been doing on UFOs for the last several months is posted up right there, so you can just track them and see how many there are. There's a lot of sightings every day. A lot of sightings. All you have to do is do a Google for UFO sightings or UFO news, and you'll be amazed at what you find. Go to YouTube. Just put in UFO sightings, and you'll find a lot there. They come up every single day. Something's going on, my friends. We don't want to be afraid of the UFOs at all. You don't want to be afraid. You don't want to shoot at them. You want to pay attention because perhaps they are here to assist. And if they are, well, shooting at them would not get the desired result of them helping, right? Right. So there you have it. That's our UFO news for today. I'm going to move on to a song for a moment. I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Headline edition, July 8th, 1947.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw up above the clouds. It was a silver shiny disc floating high above the ground. Then I saw them waving to me. It was E.T. and his family. Something happened up the street from the ground. The sky had shot the UFO down. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
The Army Air Force has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw a UFO shot down. It was a silver shining disc broken in pieces on the ground. Then I saw them lying there, bodies scattered everywhere. Something happened, a military show. Picked up the pieces and the case was closed. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
Army officers say the missile found sometime last week has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio.
One day, as I was looking to the sky, I began to think for myself, what if another ship comes down to take E.T. home? Then it occurred to me, maybe this is Earth's destiny. Something like this won't happen anymore. No more missiles, no more UFOs down. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
Headline edition will bring you special reports and interviews in a moment.
I'm back, everybody. How you doing? Let me hold on a second here. All right, just ending things on the other on the blog talk on the radio because we only do half hour there now. All right, I want to continue on with the rest of the news here because we do have a bunch of it. First thing I want to do is I want to go and I want to address the volcano, and another video surfaced of a video regarding the plume from California. So I want you to watch this one here. It's not very long. And let's start right here. Here we go.
Hey YouTube, Dutch Sense here. It is 3:03 a.m. Central Time on August 3rd, 2011. And I've got video footage. It's actually in Spanish. It's listed under Fumarola, which is a geyser, del Volcano de las Virginias, Baja California Sur, on July 27th. So just a few days back, right in the middle of everything happening. Now this is in Spanish. This person did not know we were looking for it. They just happened to catch it on their camera phone. So here it is. This is, again, in Baja California. Okay, on a mountaintop. It's coming from the volcano directly. Volcán de las Virginias. There you go. So I'll put the link down below. If anybody knows how to speak Spanish and get a hold of this person, find out the details on this. But there you have it, guys. Finally got some video of it. Give a shout out to Checolin 2007. Thank you for capturing this. It's when you see this kind of stuff off to the side of the road, make sure to get a shot of it, whether you got it on camera phone or whatever, because now we actually have video footage. We're moving step by step closer to actually getting a shot of this actually occurring. But I'd say, you know, a plume coming from a volcano, no wildfire in the area. There you go. So, cheers, folks.
All right, very good. So the research continues on. You know, it's really cool the way it works. You know, someone puts up some research, ask others to go look into it, and they do. Now we got a lot of stuff going on, lots and lots of stuff. You hear about all the weather and the heat wave that's going on throughout the country. Well, fish are dying from it. According to this article right here, says that several hundred kilograms of dead fish found in lakes near Batumi, Georgia. Massive quantities of dead fish have been resolved in Ajara, while several hundred kilograms of dead fish were found in lakes near Batumi during the last 2 days. Local authorities have begun studying this issue. The cause was asphyxia, the decrease of oxygen concentration in water due to intense heat, the Ministry of the Environment told the media. Damage caused by the fish has not been accounted for. Here we go. Manure spill kills 7,000 fish in Little Sandy Creek, Ohio. About 7,000 fish were killed last week when a flood swept manure into Little Sandy Creek, according to Ohio Department of Natural Resources. The dead fish, which include crawfish as well as other varieties, are worth $2,157, said Brent Barnes, an ODNR Division of Wildlife officer. So, remember we did the report where it talked about how right out of Georgia the water went up to like 100 degrees in a short period of time? Well, it's not good for the fish when the water's doing that. And apparently, as you can see, there's a big problem from it. Fish are dying. Now, fish aren't the only things that are dying. We got birds that have died. We have had big game that have died. We have all sorts of issues going on. There's even been, I think, mammals and big fish that have washed up in some places. Okay, floods are still going on in the Midwest, and here, Non-Parallel Online, this is out of Iowa, says a flood emergency plan is okayed for Kreft. The Lewis Central Community School District has a plan to get students and teachers at A.E. Kreft Primary School out of the building and out of the area quickly if a levee breaks while school is in session. We can evacuate within minutes, District Operations Director Jeff Carper said at the Monday school board meeting. Kreft at 3206 Renner Drive could be in a jeopardy at a flood stage. Missouri River levels continue to threaten the area. The river could start at flood stage well past the scheduled August 16 start of the school year. We had a couple of meetings with Council Bluffs local officials. They shared with us that Kreft was on the list of schools in danger in case of the catastrophic flood events. District Superintendent Mark Schuer said, since then the district has worked with city, state, and county officials to set up an emergency evacuation plan. Goes on to say down here that Nokita attended the meeting along with Steve Warren of the Iowa Department of Homeland Security and Jeff Thule of Potawatomi County Emergency Management. The district is way ahead of the curve with the plan and let parents know the safety of their children is of utmost importance. So they're concerned about this, while most of the country is going about their business, unaware of what's going on with the floods because the mainstream media is choosing to ignore them. They're still dealing with floods. The Missouri River, the Mississippi River, a lot of folks are out of their homes. They have been displaced out of their homes. A lot of farmland that would normally grow foods is not growing food at this period of time. Not only food, but other things like cotton and wheat. Things that are very important to our society and the things that we use. So this is only going to mean that when the time comes, when we would normally have this, or not, there's going to be a shortage of some sort. We're going to have to deal with that. It's better to be aware of it now. But as long as they're not talking about it on the news, people aren't going to think about it. Pay attention. These are very important stories, my friends. Here's a video from NASA. They've been releasing different footage and images. And this one, well, this one has something up there which looks most interesting indeed. Now, through the course of this picture here, you're going to see all sort of enhancements being made. You're going to see different filters put on this, and the objective is the reason why you add all these filters and adjustments is because you want to pull out different lights and different colors to really see what's beneath the surface. Because when things are photoshopped and covered over, a lot of times what you got going on is that filters are put over the pictures themselves in order to blur things. Let's say you want to hide something in a shadow. Well, you just make the thing you're going to hide the same color as the shadow. But if you run different filters through it, you can find the things that are hidden. And that's what's going on. Researchers are finding things hidden, like in the Obama birth certificate. They tried to hide a lot of things. But experts have gone in and found all the hidden things that are in there and the filters they use and the way they tried to cover it up. And as you can see, when you start applying the filters here, everything takes on a little different meaning. And you're looking at the surface here and it kind of looks like there's something here a little bit more than a natural structure. This is what's up on the moon. Here you got something else. What are those things? This almost looks from this distance like a truck and with wheels right here. Yeah, those look like wheels. 1, 2, 3 wheels like in trucks that we know them. And then what's this over here? Some sort of object. So it says if you can use Google Earth and a simple imaging program, you can do the same thing. The links are under this description of this video. So this video is linked to our page. It'll be there after the show on the daily news for today, and you'll be able to do exactly the same thing the viewer did. Alright, where are we moving on to here? Alright, well, we just talked about what's going on with Dutch and the weather here. Alright, this is something that I think everybody should be know about here. Well, we have our 6 creepy new weapons police and military use to subdue unarmed people. Alright. U.S. is at the forefront of an international arms development effort that includes a remarkable assortment of technologies which look and sound like they belong in a Hollywood science fiction thriller. From microwave energy blasters and blinding laser beams to chemical agents and deafening sonic blasters, these weapons are at the cutting edge of crowd control. The Pentagon's approved term for these weapons is non-lethal, or less lethal than they are intended for against the unarmed. Designed to control crowds, clear streets, subdue and restrain individuals, and secure borders, they are the 21st century's version of the police, baton, pepper spray, and tear gas. As journalist Andrew Artke puts it, the result is what appears to be the first arms race in which the opponent is the general population. So we're going to go down here and we're going to look at some of these weapons that are being used against the American people. Again, let me reiterate. These are weapons being used against the American people. These aren't weapons that are being taken overseas to fight against enemies in wartime or those that the United States has decided to invade. This is weaponry that is being used on the American people. First thing we have here is the ADS, Active Denial System. It works like an open-air microwave oven, projecting a focused beam of electromagnetic radiation to heat the skin of its target to 130 degrees. This creates an intolerable burning sensation, forcing those in its path to instinctively flee. So there we go, the invisible ray, pain ray, the holy grail of crowd control. Do you remember the movie, the new movie, what was it, The Hulk with Edward Norton? Do you remember in there they had a scene where they had something kind of like this that was shooting those rays out at him? Alright, next one on the list. We have the Laser Blinding Dazzler, the Personal Halting and Simulation Response Rifle, or PHASR, is a massive laser shooter. PHASR technology is being co-funded by the National Institute of Justice, Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Program, and the Office of the Secretary of Defense, and is now developed by the Air Force Research Laboratory, while JNLWP is interested in the technology for military applications. NIJ is focusing on its law enforcement use. So here we have a weapon that they've created for military purposes, involved with the Secretary of Defense, and it looks like they're going to bring it to the local area near you, because they want to make sure that Americans are rounded up in a blinding, dazzling kind of way. Now here's another one, number 3, a taser on steroids. The Albuquerque Police Department now has taser shotguns in its arsenal. Most of us are familiar with handheld tasers and understand that they only work if the police are standing pretty close to you, about 20 feet. But Taser has developed the Taser X12, a 12-gauge shotgun that instead of firing lethal bullet rounds is designed to fire taser projectile rounds, known as extended range electronic projectiles, otherwise known as XREPs. The cartridge is a self-contained wireless projectile that delivers the same neuromuscular incapacitation bioeffect as the handheld taser, but up to 100 feet. According to a July 21st press release, Taser International has taken the XREP to the next level, teaming up with the Australian electric gun company Metal Storm to enhance the 12-gauge multi-shot accessory under barrel launcher. Alright, great. Here's another one. Calmative agents for riot control. These are chemical or biological agents with sedative, sleep-inducing, or similar psychoactive effects. Although the 1997 Chemical Weapons Convention prohibits the use of riot control agents in warfare, the NJNWLP and the NIJ have long considered calmatives for both military and law enforcement applications, such as dispersing a crowd, controlling a riot, or calming a non-compliant offender. So if you don't comply, they're going to drug you. If they don't comply, they're going to use some sort of chemical product on you or your family. How about that, huh? And then, of course, we got the screaming microwaves that pierce the skull. Researchers are in the process of developing the mob excess deterrent using silent audio, or Medusa, That's right, from Greek mythology, which uses a beam of microwaves to induce uncomfortable auditory sensations in the skull. Let me ask you this. We all know the story of Medusa. Wasn't a good thing. Was a bad thing. So you would think that a good guy, if he was creating something to be used, wouldn't call it Medusa because it has a dark, evil connotation to it. However, your government has created a device that they call Medusa. I would say that that would make the creators and the government using this evil. How about you? Certainly seems to me. And now here we have the ear-splitting siren. Long-range acoustic device, or LRAD, built by the American Technology Corporation, focuses and broadcasts sounds over ranges of up to hundreds of yards. It has been around for years, but Americans first took notice when they used it in Pittsburgh to ward off protesters. Now, this, prior to that, had only been used in Iraq. But in Pittsburgh, at the G20 summit in 2010 last year, 2009, well, this is when the police first unveiled it there, and they started using it on the public citizens. So a weapon that has been used against insurgents in a war, time of war, was now brought to this country and turned on the American people. And then, of course, the impact, it says the application of pain and control or coercing people into submission helps to achieve the desired aims of perceptive management while sheltering the public from the brutality of such devices. Perhaps these less lethal tactics for crowd control do result in fewer injuries, but they also severely weaken our capacity to enact political change. Authorities have ever more creative ways to manage dissent at a time when the need for change by popular demand is vital to the future of our society and the planet. So, last couple days, I've made some comments to the officers, police officers out there. Again, I reiterate, to the officers out there, these are pretty creepy weapons that you guys have at your disposal. Therefore, I'm sure you can understand the concern when some of the men or women in blue out there are not operating on all cylinders and are abusing their power. Nobody wants to have any abuse of power when there are weapons that are going to be causing this kind of pain and devastation to anybody. Nobody wants to have an officer who's out of control be putting any kind of calming agents out on people or biological warfare against the people. So again, if you're an officer and you know somebody in your department that is out of control, take it upon yourself to do the right thing and report them. Get rid of the bad apples so that the American people can believe and trust that you, the police officers of this country, truly do want to help. Because if you don't turn in the bad apples, that means you condone their behavior and accept their behavior, and if that's the case, you're not for the American people, and eventually it's going to go against you, because the American people will stand up against this tyranny. You want to make sure that you are on the right side with the American people, because, as we say in this show, there are more of us than there are of them. So people of this country, it's time to stand up. These things are going on. Now, a little bit of information before we get into our prayer for today. Yesterday, this bill passed through. Super Congress. The Constitution was now dismantled even further because Congress, well, it consists of 500 and I believe 35 members who would debate on issues, would debate on bills and things of this nature when they would come up. Well, that is no longer there. Now, it has been reduced to 6 Republicans, 6 Democrats, and the President. These 13 people will decide what is going on. The reason they have this smaller number is they can fast-track things and any decisions they want to make and put them out into the world much quicker. There's been no word about what happened to this martial law rule that was introduced. It was introduced so that a bill could be put in play and then voted on the same day. This was part of the Republican bill that they turned in. There was a compromise made. Somehow or another, I'm guessing that this is part of it because the whole idea was to fast-track the process. Now, in the process of doing this, in signing away, in signing this new bill, our Congress has now lost power. It has gone from a power of all of these 535 individuals down to 12. The Constitution does not call for this. And in this great power grab, what was the day that they chose to do this? August 2nd, 2011. Well, we all know that the government likes to do things according to numbers, numerology. It's very important. 77 years ago yesterday, on August 2nd, 1934, Hitler took power. That's right, Hitler took power. 77 years later, Obama's administration took power away from Congress and put it closer to him. Days prior to that, he was out talking about how tempting it was to just run the show by himself and make all the decisions, overriding Congress. There's a man in office who isn't an American citizen, who doesn't have the ideals of this country in mind, who over and over has shown that he is not aware of really what's going on, is so out of touch with the American people. He's out of touch with himself. He goes to places like England and goes to visit the Queen, and he writes a year, 2008, in the book, which is not even the correct year. He makes comments over and over indicating that he's not in touch with what's going on. This is not the right man that should be in office. This is a man who should be in jail for treason, for betrayal of the country, for dismantling the Constitution. But guess what? He's doing this while Americans are watching and applauding, cheering him on as he goes, because they are too blinded by the mainstream media's lies to know that they are being railroaded. Yesterday was the anniversary of Adolf Hitler. And on that day, that anniversary day, Obama actually signed an agreement that took power away from Congress and put it more towards him in a small group. Really? Better wake up, folks. Something is around the corner. Very drastic that's about to happen. People are going to ask one day, when did all this happen? It happened while you were watching American Idol. It happened while you weren't paying attention. It's happening right now. I'd say it's time for you to start paying attention, because things are moving and things are in place that are requiring your attention. Not in the future, but right now. Alright? Let's move from this now, and let's close things out with some good positive vibes to end out the show. A little positive vibe. So let's take all the challenges of the world, all the troubles of the world, and I want you to imagine that in front of you, you have a box. And the box is open. And in that box, I want you to imagine putting into it all of the past problems that you've had to face. Put them away. All of your doubts and your fears. Put them in the box. All of the outworn habits that no longer serve you. Put them in the box. And at the same time, trust that other Americans and others around the world are doing exactly the same thing. Putting behind them the things that they no longer need. Now, once you've put all of these things in the box, close it up. Take some tape, tape it around there, makes it good and tight. I want you to take that box, set it down in front of you. And I want you to light that box on fire and imagine seeing it in flames. And as this box is on fire, I want you just to allow that smoke to be released. And as it releases, I want you to feel the release that you feel as all of these problems and challenges are lifted off of you, drifting up and away in a puff of smoke. Send them off with good wishes so they can recycle and come back around as good, loving energy. I want you to imagine all your chakras are turned on, starting at the bottom of your spine. The first chakra is red. Feel the energy being pulled up from the earth into that chakra. Raise the energy above to the chakra above it, which is orange, which is right about the belly button area. From there, raise the energy up to the next higher chakra above it, which is yellow, and that's the solar plexus, just below the rib cage. From there, raise the energy up to the heart chakra. Imagine the color green. This is the heart place of love. From the heart chakra, raise it up to the next chakra above it, which is the throat, and the color is blue. From the blue throat chakra, raise the energy above to the third eye, and imagine the color violet. And from the third eye, raise the energy to the crown chakra. Indigo is the color, and then the light continues on up into the sky, up into the cosmos. It is bright white light. And there you are, connected above and below, below and above. And in this connection, feeling this energy flowing through you, imagine the energy, this multicolored energy flowing through your body from all your chakras, overflowing, forming the spiritual armor around you, your protective armor. And extend that energy out now into the world and send it as a ray of love all around the world, blanketing the planet in love. Feel the love being sent to you from everyone else that is doing exactly the same thing. And now hold in your mind's eye a good thought for the world. Let's bring our energy and attention back to the present moment. We'll do so on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. That's our meditation for today, my friends. That's the end of the show. One last reminder I forgot to mention. I want to start incorporating astrology into the show a bit more. I haven't been doing that. Astrologically, now we've entered a phase called Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year. When it happens, what occurs is that the planet Mercury appears to be going backwards. It really isn't going backwards. It just has the appearance of doing so. Now, the word retrograde means going back a step. So during a retrograde phase, it's like we're going back a step, and it is a time to polish up any work and to look over things that you have been doing. Double check the things you've done. It's not a time for starting something fresh. It's not a time for signing contracts. The rule of thumb is just polish up what you had done in the past. Look over your work. Double check things. Make sure when you communicate with others, you understand what you're saying, because Mercury retrogrades can also be a time where communication is challenging. There can be communication issues, driving issues, dealing with other folks. Anything where communication or connecting with others can be involved, there could be issues. Just think before you speak. That's what it's all about. The reason this works is because all the planets, they all work according to and affect a different aspect of the body. Mercury is the planet that rules over the mind and the intellect. Therefore, when Mercury is in an apparent state of going backwards or retrograde, the mind and the intellectual energies are also the ones affected. Alright? Think before you speak. Just take a moment, look over your work. That's what Mercury retrograde's about. It's nothing more than that. It's just paying attention a little bit more. This phase lasts for 3 weeks till, I believe it goes until mid-August. I think around the 26th, something like that. I will double check on that, and I will be letting you know tomorrow. But right now we've begun the phase, so just be aware of that. And that will be enough. Alright? That's our show for today. For Dirk Bradshaw, my name's Josh Poet. I'll be back again tomorrow. It's a pleasure as always. Till then, have a great day, great night. I'll see you soon. Peace.